Hey guys, what's up with you? How have you been? How was your Sunday today? How I spent my Sunday was I gave myself a sort of digital detox. Like I kept my phone away for a few hours in the morning. And then also because today is my cheat day, so I went out and I had lots and lots of dosa and fed on filter coffee. And then even though I wanted to rest, my entire system was like fueled with a lot of adrenaline, I would say, because there was like coffee running through my veins. However, yeah, I was in a state of resting, something that I call as my sacred pause, and I paused everything. I paused my business, I paused my body, I paused my nervous system, I paused my thinking so that I can have more and more access to what I truly feel inside my body. And then I suddenly realized this intense understanding, intense insight of why we do business the way we do business. What is the reason for which you do the business you do, right? If you're alive, if you're watching me, I'd want to know from you, what time do you wake up to do your business? What times do you actually sit down on your table, sit down on your chair to access your files, access your papers, access your computer, access your clients? Okay, Chayan says, looking like a monk in peace. Thank you, Chayan. I want to know from you, what time do you actually give yourself a lunch break on weekdays when you do business? I want to know from you that at what time do you wrap up? And how do you wrap up? How do you know that you are wrapping up? Do you actually leave your office? If you work from home, do you actually close down your computer? Or, you see off people in a group and then you go back to another room? Do you have team members? Do you work in a certain hierarchy? When you go back to your home or you retreat to your bedroom, do you still have thoughts about what you should be doing, what you should not be doing, right? So Chayan says, at around 10 a.m. I start my work. At around 1 p.m. I go for lunch break and wrap around 10, close down everything. That's a lot. At around 10, it's a lot. 7:38 again. Someone says, Dr. Diva says, Rakhi says, 7:38 p.m. I leave. That is again a lot of time. I mean, when you go back at 8, you hardly have time to rest, to be able to enjoy your meal, or maybe even put your head into reading a book. And I do understand that people who are working in certain setups, who are working in organizations, who are working in companies, who are working in in groups of people, it's difficult. Who are working in office setup, it's difficult for you to wrap up soon and go back. What I'm trying to make you see is the way we do business, the way we do work is influenced heavily by the colonialism that we have faced, right? Raki says, yes, there's no energy left for anything. Chan says, hardly have time for a social life, honestly, all in the name of friends, our fellow healers, right? So yes, you can sense it. You know that something is going missing. You know that something that you would want to do, you would want to experience, is not happening in your life, right? Somehow the amount of joy you want to experience, the amount of excitement that you want to experience, the amount of life you want to live, the amount of curiosity you want to have in your day-to-day life, the amount of thinking that you would want to do, just simply staring outside your window and thinking about your next project, about your next paper, about your next article, about your next website, about whatever it is, right? And we can't do that because our minds are also under the colonial influence, because like so many different countries and places in the world, including our country, our minds and our bodies are colonized, right? There is an invisible force which governs our minds, and there is an invisible force which governs our body. You can see the effect of the body being colonized, how you try to shame your body, how you try to criticize yourself for looking a certain way, or not liking your look because you look a certain way that you want to judge, how you try to make your body fit into certain circumstances, how constantly when you look at the mirror you tell yourself that, oh, my shoulders are not good, my butt is too large, my face is too big, something like that, right? And then you want to beat yourself up into being a certain way. Like in my fitness journey, when if my journey is still continuing, I still allow myself to actually binge on Sundays. I go out and I eat, right? However, on the weekdays when I am not eating food that is going to contribute to a large amount of calorie, I don't do it through control. I don't do it through coercion. I don't do it through a lot of force. I don't beat myself up. I do not criticize myself when accidentally I crave, let's say, a roti, or I crave bread and I eat it. I don't beat myself up. I don't do that because I don't allow my body to be something lower than me. When I scold my body, when I hold my body responsible for doing something that I thought it should not do, then I'm also colonizing my body, right? It's something lesser than me. If you draw a hierarchical model, the body is lesser than your mind, the cognitive conscious mind that you have, right? Jim Lee here says negative self-talk. Yes, negative self-talk. Who are we talking to? We are talking to our bodies because we feel that our body is under our control, that it must stay below us, that if you have a hierarchy of things, your thinking is here and your body is supposed to be here under the thinking, and the thinking is supposed to govern the body because the body is the land which is colonized and you are the colonizer, right? And that conflict of being a colonized entity and you being the colonizer is in the outside world. In the outside world you see all the Native Americans were asked to not only leave their homelands, but then they were colonized, right? How India was colonized, so many different countries were done. How Australian Aborigines lost their land because of colonization. So the concept of colonization is presented anywhere, everywhere, even inside our bodies, even the way our mind functions, even the critical thinking that we have about ourselves is a colonial talk that we have, right? So the negative self-talk we have is a colonial talk. How does it apply to your business, right? How does it apply to the way you do business? When you are doing business, you think that you need to operate in a certain structure, that you must be available at 10 a.m., at 9 a.m. And this I'm specifically talking to people who might be running their own ventures, doing their own work, might be service providers. I'm talking more to people who are running their own work and have a schedule. It's good to have a schedule. I have a schedule and I run on that schedule. While I run on that schedule, I don't use the colonial mindset to be on that schedule. I don't tell myself that if I'm unable to wake up at 8 in the morning and be on my table at 9, I'm a bad human being. I'm an uninspired human being. I'm unmotivated. And then I might go to Instagram and I might go to on Facebook and compare myself with other people, other coaches, other healers who are more successful than me. When I do that, then I try to control my business. I try to make my business some sort of vehicle that is only running because I have the fuel to run it, right? I have the energy to run it. When I am devoid and depleted of that energy, when I do critical self-talk, when I hold myself responsible for everything I think is negative in my life, then my business does not perform well, because I consider my business as something that I must control. My business becomes the entity which is colonized, and I am the colonizer of my business. I have to control it. I have to make sure it performs in a certain way every single month. I have to be very aware of how much money it is bringing me every month, like a laborer working on the farmlands on whom I'm lashing the whip, right? I have to make sure that I fuel it through me, because if I loosen the reins, then it's not going to perform. As if its productivity is based only on the number of conversions I am getting, or the number of people signing up, or the amount of money that business is going to bring me. It is no different from a colonized piece of land, a colonized group of native people who I, because of my personal interest, want to use, want to control, want to enforce, and have a very strict idea of operation with them, right? So the way I colonize my body, I also may fall into colonizing my business. And this is what I want to challenge. I want to also ask all of you, how are you colonizing your business? If you are a service provider, if you happen to be maybe a coach, if you work with people, if you have a venture of your own, how are you colonizing your business? What are the strict rules you are applying and telling that this is how your business is supposed to be? That it must perform in this certain way, that you have to fuel it in this certain way, that you have to wake up at that time and be at your business by so and so time, that you cannot give yourself a lunch break or a tea break just because you're working on something that needs not just disciplined approach, but also an approach which is so aggressive that you cannot give yourself the credit or the reward of resting. What kind of business are you in when that business does not bring in space inside your nervous system? How do you create space in your nervous system in your business? Do you have a business which allows you to have original ideas because it allows you the freedom to move away from it and stare out of the window and think? Just think. Even if that thought does not produce something valuable, something innovative, right? When we do these things, when we move our awareness and attention to these kind of things, we realize that the kind of business that we have made for ourselves, right, is also a result of how we create that business. It's also a result of the patriarchal setup that we have, the rigid setup that we have. So Rakhi here says, but patients are a priority. And I would say so is your nervous system. You cannot be completely present to your patients and make a remarkable difference in their life, which could be different from any other doctor that is making either in your locality, in this region, in this country, if you do not come up with something unique. How will you come up with something unique? Why would people want to pay you more if you are like any other doctor who is serving the same service, who is giving the same service as you do? For that, you will have to have access to your unique ability. let's say your superpower. That unique ability, that superpower is not going to come to you if there is no space for you to create inside your nervous system so that you can have access to original thinking, to creating something which is completely you, which is irreplaceable because it is you and you and you, right? When you dare to do something beyond the traditional setup, and mind you, I am using the word traditional in terms of this rigid, patriarchal, masculine way of doing business. By the way, even our perception of time is very patriarchal and masculine in nature, because we tell ourselves that only at 9 we will wake up, or at 8 or 7 we will wake up, or 6 we will wake up, and at sharp 8:30 we will have to be on the table, and at 1 we will go for our lunch, and then go back at 1:30. I understand all of that in terms of discipline. I also do that in a way wherein I have discipline. But at the same point of time, I do not get stuck with these patriarchal ideas of doing business, right? When I want to rest, I give myself rest. Before setting up a priority that, okay, my clients are important, my patients are important, and I need to finish up this article, and I need to draw up the curriculum of this course. However, when I am in complete awareness of my body, when I am not a colonialist to my body, but rather I am a collaborator with my body. So I am not a colonial being or dominant being trying to control my body or push my body or force my body through situations and experiences that it finds exhausting. Instead, when I am a collaborator to my body, when my body speaks back to me and I listen to my body and I talk to my body, like a friend, like a different human being, like a different entity, then I am in collaboration with my body. So then my body tells me that, okay, fine, we are not feeling good, let's just lie down. So I'll then retreat and I'll lie down. Oh, we are thirsty. Maybe you are forgetting to drink water while you are writing this article or while you are seeing clients. Let's go and drink some water, let's hydrate. Or because you've been sitting for so long in the chair, therefore your spine might be aching. So let's go and take a walk, right? So to be in collaboration with your body is important for you to know who you are becoming in your business. And similarly, in the same way, you need to be in collaboration with your business. There is a module that I teach in ATEPS, which is my business coaching program, my money coaching business coaching program. Inside ATEPS, I teach a module. I think it's the 4th module. I'm still recording the videos of that particular module. And this module is called Metaphysics of Business. Seeing business from an energetic point of view. Seeing business as a fluid entity. Experiencing business as a feminine being. Experiencing business as something which is constantly changing, evolving like water. It changes its shapes. And most importantly, seeing business as a being that can talk to you, a being that can go out and seek the right clients, a business that can communicate to you its needs, its desires, its aspirations, a business that you can collaborate with, that you do not have to colonize, right? Because there's a price that we pay for colonizing our businesses. Rakhi here says, sometimes I ignore my lunch times as I have patients waiting. Right? That is also because I have built up my schedule in that way. Right? Because somewhere also, I might be worried, I might be concerned, or I might be scared that I am running a business of my own. If I don't see 10 patients today, then my business does not generate X amount of money, or and that I need that X amount of money for my life, for the house I live in, for maybe the gym I go to, for the electricity bill I pay, for the food I eat, all of that. But in that, we are also stuck in this colonial mindset of how something needs to be controlled in order to achieve something. If I want to make 10 lakh rupees in a month, I have to control my actions. I have to control my behavior. I have to control my business and, write down strategies that are very streamlined, or maybe they're aggressive, or they have a very controlled approach. What I'm trying to say is you can still have a streamlined approach. You can still be disciplined in your life. You can still have a life wherein you are in total alignment with your clock, with your inner clock, not the outer clock, with the inner clock. And yet you can have collaboration with your business wherein your business allows you to relax. Your business allows you to function from anywhere you want, right? Your business allows you to function from your bedroom sometimes, right? Sometimes I may not be, in the right state, wherein I may not be able to talk to my clients. For example, I'm talking to you right now from this particular room. Tomorrow, I may not feel like coming to life from this room. I may be in another room because my body feels differently. My body wants to experience another room. When we also give up colonizing our businesses, we also stop judging ourselves for the way we do business. Whether I'm doing business from my bed, whether I am, writing an article sitting in my veranda, right? Whether I am at 1 p.m. relaxing and lying down on my sofa and thinking on my couch, or thinking of a new idea on my business, wherein the critical mind is going to tell me is going on telling me it's 1 p.m., it's afternoon, you are supposed to be working on that project, that's coming up tomorrow, but you're lying down and thinking about a new idea. Those kind of stuff wherein there's a lot of critical thinking, critical talk, those talks are a result of colonization, right? That there is a hierarchy between you and your business. Your business is lesser than you. You are the greater being who is controlling the smaller being to function in a certain way so that it brings you money, it brings you clients, it brings you conversions, it brings you patients, it brings you whatever, it brings you sales, right? That kind of thinking is what I'm challenging. How you decolonize your business is by decolonizing yourself. The first step to decolonizing your business is to decolonize your body and decolonize your nervous system from your mind, from a critical mind, which says you don't deserve rest. You can't lie down at 1 p.m., 2 p.m. You cannot take more than half an hour of a lunch break. You today cannot go away from office at 5 p.m. just because you want to go and enjoy that show that you really like on Netflix, right? You cannot eat so and so. You can't eat bread because, it's wrong to eat bread. So what I'm trying to say is decolonizing your business begins with decolonizing with your body. And the second step is when you decolonize your body, when you decolonize your nervous system, you also begin to collaborate with your body. You begin to collaborate with your nervous system. You listen to what it says to you and you can talk back to it. Similarly, you listen to what your business says to you. You are able to trust your business. You can see your business as another human being, as a friend, instead of something that you have to relentlessly, conquer, control, build, take to the next level, right? And if you cannot take it to the next level in the next 3 months and it doesn't generate a revenue of, let's say, 10 lakh, 20 lakhs a month, then it's a failure. That is the thinking that I'm challenging, that kind of thinking. And that's what I do inside A-Tips. I change the way people do business, because there is no one way of doing business. The way we do business, 99% of people on this planet do business in a very strict, colonial, patriarchal way, right? It's not only a toxic structure, but it also shows us a structure of how toxic power plays a role. That everything in this world has to be hierarchical in nature. It doesn't have to be. It can be a team. It can be a collaboration. It can be a friendship. It can be a play. It can be fun. It can generate curiosity. It can generate excitement. The way I have made money in my business, which is I've made more than $1 million, and I have done it not by colonizing my business, not by colonizing my body. Earlier I used to do it because when I was beginning, I used to go through major burnouts. I used to go through major exhaustion. I would feel that, if I have space for 15 people in a workshop and 4 people have turned up, then my business is a failure. I should not even be teaching this course. These are the kind of conclusions I would draw in the beginning of my business, If I would tell myself that, this week I'm going to see 3 clients every day and I'm going to work for 6 days, which means each client is going to pay me 5,000 rupees and 15,000 rupees is going to come to me in one day, which means in 6 days I'm going to make 90,000 rupees, which is in a month I would make 3.6 lakh. And I would just write that down on my board, put it in my vision board and put it up on my wall. I would do that. And at the end of the week, when I would have made somewhere around 60,000, because I just saw 4 clients, I would beat myself up on Sunday. I would tell myself that, Gaurav, this is just not done. You didn't work hard. You didn't do all the things that was necessary for you to do. You're not good enough. There are other people around you. Can't you see? So many of your seniors, so many of your colleagues are making so much more than you. People living in these different parts of the world that they are making so much more. What are you doing? That is the kind of talk I would have with myself. And now I understand that when I did that, I literally wounded my nervous system. Those are wounds that I still carry with me. When I look back, I feel embarrassed. I feel shameful of those parts. But I'm still doing healing of those parts because those parts which are 10 years back, 8 years back, those are my inner children. Those are my wounded parts. Those are my tired parts. Those are my exhausted parts. And I have to be able to access them. Have kindness for them from this position that I am in 2022, 10 years later. And be able to absorb them, assimilate them, and integrate them, and digest and process those experiences. Because if I don't, I would continue to be that critical person that I was, this judge, this colonizer that I was, and I would continue to function that way. That is what I mean by colonizing your body, colonizing your nervous system, colonizing your business, and that is what you need to stop doing. So in 8 EPs, this is what I teach, my decade-long experience of doing a business which has generated so much of money. I've seen so many clients. They have happily paid me. I've earned so much money simply because I collaborated with my business. I had a relationship with my business which was based on trusting my business, knowing that it has an energy of its own, knowing that it has a life of its own, trusting that it's going to go out in the world and reach out to people that it knows is the right kind of client for it to attract, to have alignment with my business. And that's the reason I invite all of you to actually come and join 8 EPs. You will go through a major transformation in terms of how you do business, how you make money. 8 EPs, the full form of 8 EPs is A for abundance, T for tapping, E for expansion, P for practice, S for series. So it's a series of practices where we expand our inner space. Expanding our inner space simply means making space inside our body, making space inside our nervous system so that we can receive more, we can create more. We can have so many possibilities. Possibilities does not exist in a packed up, jammed up, exhausted space. Possibilities exist in a space where there is a lot of space. There is vastness, right? And that's what we do inside 8 EPs. We are constantly creating space. We are constantly creating restoration. We are giving so much more value to rest. I tell people that if you go and rest for 11 hours, you will sign up 11 clients. That's what I tell people. And they actually do. Because their nervous system comes out with so much more original ideas. And when the judgment, when the shame, when the perfection leaves because of the decolonization, they're able to create so much more beyond everything that they thought needs to be perfect in the way they create. Perfection is absolutely and completely unnecessary, right? When you are able to let go of that, you are able to let go of all the other hangings around it, which is shame, which is guilt, which is judgment, which is insecurity about, your skills, your certifications, your degrees, where you come from, your geographical, political interests, none of that, right? People are going to pay you because they are going to lean into your safety, the safety that you feel inside your nervous system. That is how people create a bond with you. You will be able to do that with people when you can have that bond with your body, inside your nervous system. And lastly, you can have that bond with your business, a bond of friendship, a relationship of a collaboration, right? So inviting all of you inside ATIPS. We will have lots and lots of fun, and you will absolutely transform the way you make money. There is no doubt that you will sell more, that is needless to say, but the kind of inner abundance that you will experience is beyond any vocabulary that I can put in. All you have to do to join ATIPS is go to the link in my bio. There is a tab that says ATIPS, registration for ATIPS. Go there. The price is 2,50,000 Indian rupees, and it's a lifetime program. It's going to go on for lifetime, like it's going to go on forever, right? Where we will meet for weekly coaching calls. Every single week we will be meeting for coaching calls. We will also have a very active Facebook group. We already have it, where people share all their celebrations and they get active coaching, right? Plus, of course, the recorded modules, access to all the modules and the great learnings. And no wonder the amount of money that you will make inside it. I'm sure you have been reading the testimonials that are there on my profile. The only thing that you have got to do is go there and read the testimonials. People have been making money like crazy anyway. And lastly, there are also EMI options. So if you go to the page where ATIPS is hosted right now, we are soon coming up with the new website. But until then, we have a Razorpay page. And in that page, if you go, you will be able to see the EMI options. And you can take up EMI options because it's a lifetime program. You can have a longer EMI if you like, right? Thank you so much for joining in this live. I am deeply humbled that you all listened and shared your stories. I will see you soon. Thank you again.